my name is Bailey Callister. I live on the Sunshine Coast in British Columbia, and I'm going to tell you a bit about ortho-bionomy. The word means straight or correct application of the laws of life, and this was developed by Dr. Arthur Lincoln Pauls, who was born in Laird, Saskatchewan in a Mennonite community and spent his younger life here and then went to Europe, where he had many different careers, among them an osteopath. Before that, he was a 10th degree black belt in judo and naturally evolved to learn osteopathy after suggestion from his osteopath. So he discovered that he was not quite happy with forceful movements. It didn't fit with his philosophy of going with. It was very resistance-oriented and forceful. And he read a paper by Dr. Lawrence Jones, who had an experience with a client who came in weeping and in a lot of pain, a man weeping, if you can imagine. And he had been awake for 4 days with neck pain and asked him to please help him. And he had no time right then, so he took him into a room and propped him up to get him as comfortable as possible. And he said, well, I'll come back as soon as I have time between my patients that have appointments. So he came back a couple hours later, and the guy was not only sound asleep, but when he woke up, he was completely out of pain. And he called that spontaneous release through positioning. And when Arthur read that, he said, well, this makes more sense according to the way I see how life works. So he did spend some time with Lawrence Jones in Oregon, and Lawrence Jones went on to develop strain counter-strain, which is very physical, very precise, uses 90 seconds in a position, and moves on to the next thing, where Arthur felt like, well, there's lots of concentrated nerve endings in the joints, and if I add compression or distraction, it may just speed things up, and indeed it did. Went from 90 seconds to a few seconds for a change. So he went on to incorporate all the other things he'd learned, homeopathy, the martial arts, the osteopathy, and they kind of all blended together. One of the principles being really important in the homeopathy is less is more, and exaggerating the pattern. And so what he found, that when he exaggerated the pattern of comfort in the body recognized that through the proprioceptive nervous system or the adaptive nervous system, and he would get these really quite astonishing, even after years and years being stuck in a position of a release and a reorganization from within. So he started teaching, or after he developed it for a while on his own, he started teaching his findings in Canada. Was his first class in Ontario in 1976. And then he trained his first round of teachers then. And I think I'm the second or third round of teachers that came along. I started in 1984. And so now it's worldwide. And what I wanted to share with you, something that you could use at home for yourself or your friends and family, that would be useful to you and get the idea of how fabulous this work is. It's done with clothes on, it's very comfortable, it's real pleasant to receive, and the practitioner they don't wear out their body parts doing the work.